And this is just what all ex-K-pop trainees have to experience. Hey guys, it's DaveDisci. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in on this glorious day. Today I have some stories I wanted to talk to you. I think it's very important for people to share their ex-trainee K-pop experiences just because it helps people understand the industry a little bit more. It can prevent fans from looking at K-pop stars in this certain light and put immense pressure on them, more see them as human beings like they are. Because at the end of the day, even if you're a normal person, you want to be a K-pop star, if you fit the look and if you have the talent for it, you can literally just go audition and get it and then start training for it. It's not something that's impossible for anyone to do. Seemingly very possible. It just makes K-pop stars literally like the average person. There's no reason for us to put them on this pedestal, think of them as like God and put immense pressure on them. It just doesn't help their mental health. It causes some of them to do horrible things. So I have this friend, actual friend. I did ask him if I could talk about his experiences. I did take down notes because he didn't want to be on camera of the experiences. I wanted to kind of talk about his experience and everything he went through. Some of these things I can relate just with the audition processes that I've gone through, so I know that what he's saying has to be true. I'm not going to say the actual entertainment because I do not want to get sued. But anyway, before I begin right into this video and talk about all of the dirty deeds, spill the tea. If you're new here, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and also hit that notification bell because YouTube for some reason is not notifying people of my videos. Also, if you're a hater and you want to be the first to leave a hate comment on my videos, you can also do that right there. And let me get right into it. So my friend actually auditioned for an entertainment. The process was just as grueling and gruesome as any other process when you audition. It was like a long day. He ended up going up late. He was one of the people in the back, like 1,000 people. He ended up going into the auditions. He did the whole performance in front of the judges. They seemingly liked him. Essentially, he did get a call back. He had to go back for a second audition, which usually I don't believe is heard of. They did it anyway. They wanted to really see if he could nail this particular look that they were going for. I think they were going to put him in a group because I think they had a group in mind. They was missing like this one key member. He was a really good dancer, so I think they were looking for someone who would play up the dancing part of the K-pop group. So if you don't know, every person in a K-pop group kind of has their own role. There's the face, just essentially is just the face of the group. They can sing, they can dance, do all that stuff, but they're mainly just the face of the group. Then there's the rapper, there's the dancer, there's whatever. Essentially, they wanted him to be the dancer. I think they were going for like a street vibe kind of dancing look. So they wanted to see if he can do that. So he went in, he prepared a piece, did it, and they absolutely loved it, and they decided that he would start his training process. Now the training process is interesting. At the time he wasn't 18. He did have to have his parents sign away. He signed a contract for kind of a couple of years. You sign a contract to train until you debut. Some people when they debut they're still in that contract. He essentially signed like essentially 10 years. I was shocked when he told me that. When he went up to the judges the second time, they did tell him that he needed to essentially change his nose and bleach his skin. That was part of actually his contract. My skin, you bleach your skin. I'm good the way I is. So the way these training processes work, you train for a certain number of years. When you show significant potential, they in their mind they think, okay, maybe you're ready to debut. And then you and your group, or you as a solo, end up performing in front of a showcase. So you're showcased in front of like industry professionals in front of the showcase. Show your best move, you show your potential. If they decide that you're ready to debut, you can then debut. Essentially during that moment, you want to be able to look your best, look as great as possible. Before you even get to the showcase, before you meet these very important people, you have to look the part of a K-pop star. That can include bleaching your skin, getting a nose job. And Korea is a very homogeneous thing, so they prefer that everyone does look the same. That doesn't mean that people who don't look the same don't have a chance. Clearly there are people who don't look like everyone else in the K-pop industry and they're doing okay. So the entertainment does pay some parts of the training process, but for the most part it's you that are paying for it. They don't know if you are going to be successful. If they start putting all their money into you and then you end up flopping, they're going to be bankrupt. He did have to put a lot of his own money into the training process. It was like a regular school that you were going to that you had to pay tuition for. It was very, very expensive. It was very, very expensive. He had to do about like 9 hours a day of physical training, of dancing and whatever. He actually did end up meeting the group that he was supposed to be a part of. I think there were about 6 people in that group. With their impression, they were looking to expand the group to about 9. So he definitely had an idea of what they wanted everyone in the group of 9 to do. They said that it was gruesome gruesome training. My friend was actually slightly overweight before he actually joined. Not only was he physically exercising and dancing 9 hours a day, he had also changed his diet. He was actually eating foods with less salt, just literally was not drinking soda. He ended up losing so much weight, he started getting abs. He probably did this for about a year before you really put the side-by-side picture and you really saw, oh my god, he lost like 50 pounds. He said that even if he doesn't train anymore, he would still be interested in keeping this lifestyle because it made him lose this much weight. He said that he would never eat foods with a lot of salt anymore. He couldn't go to McDonald's and eat a french fry because it was just way too salty compared to what he was eating. Essentially eating food with like no salt. To him, it did taste like something. You know, you could always put like spicy stuff in there. Korean tip, if you want any flavor, just put spicy stuff in there and you're good. Very nice. Ugh, I burnt the egg. Spicy. So it's definitely not as glamorous as it probably seems. He did spend a lot of hours in the studio. Essentially, they were trying to train his voice as well. They made him take a lot of pills to help clear his voice. Even when he was sick, he still had to go in and dance. You're paying for it. And again, you're under contract. Unless they say it's okay, you can't really call out too many times. The tuition is essentially the same as going to college. He had this opportunity right out of high school. He could have gone to college or he could have pursued this. He really wanted to go ahead and try this. And at the time, he was in America. He had a girlfriend back in Korea. He wanted to get married with his girlfriend. He ended up flying back to Korea to essentially try to get married. He ended up finding out that he really wanted to pursue a medical degree instead of going into K-pop. He said that there was a lot of pressure from his family to go into medical school. But towards the end, he actually ended up trying to get out of the contract because he had not debuted yet and because he had not done really anything yet. He was allowed to leave. There was no big issue. The company did not really put any money into him. Essentially everything that they put in was his money. Now in my mind I was like, well, why don't you do both? Well, medical school is expensive and the training process is expensive too. Essentially you can only pick one unless you're a billionaire, and even if you are a billionaire, you only have so many hours of the day. It's not like you're going to be training for 9 hours and then want to go home and study. Probably going to want to go home and sleep. And I am happy for him. I really do see that he's still very interested in the K-pop life. I hope that he does one day pursue it, maybe after medical school, because he's very talented. I truly do believe the entertainment world there's a place for him. So yeah, that wraps up my video on the EX-KPOP trainee experience. This is a lot of things that they have to go through, and as they go through these things, they appear like this amazing god. If you're able to endure all that, you're gonna come out looking beautiful. But as I said, anyone can do it. I hope that that helps you understand K-pop stars a little bit better. It was definitely an eye-opening experience for me when I asked him. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, as I mentioned earlier. I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for leaving your comments. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing, and I will see you in the very next one. Bye. Girl, if they told me to bleach my skin